Hey, if you remember in one of my earlier videos, we took a look at this bad boy right here. This is the GOLABS R300 power station slash solar generator slash power supply. If you remember, we looked at all the different cables and stuff that comes with it to allow you to either charge it and all of the ports and stuff to be able to plug devices into. If you remember, it has a pure sine wave inverter. So it's really good, 300 watts. That gives you about 20 amp hours of usable DC power. 20 hours of usable DC power. That's fantastic. But I wanted to see how it really does in real life. So today we're going to test it. We have a semi-sunny environment. We got some haze, but this should work out pretty well because this bad boy is okay as long as you're around someplace that you can charge it. So if you're boondocking, which is very interesting and important for all of us that do van camping. And what I purchased was this iClever foldable 100 watt solar panel. This thing is pretty cool. Haven't really had a chance to try it, so let's take a look at it. I'll give you some of the specifications. First off, it comes in at about, yes, I'm looking down because I have my cheat sheet. It comes in at 9.9 pounds. And when it's folded up like this, it's 20 inches by 15 inches by 2.5 inches thick. When you open it up, and we'll take a look at that, it's 70 inches long by the 20 inches wide by only about a ½ inch thick. The reason that I decided to go with a portable, foldable solar panel was just like right now, I've got the van parked in the shade to keep it cool in here. That way you don't have to use near the power to run your fans to keep it cool enough to stay in the van if you need to. With a portable charger of some type, you can run a long cable out into the sun with a solar panel and charge your house batteries or your auxiliary battery here in the van. Or you can get a power supply like this, and you can pack this around to any sunny spot and move it very easy. So let's check this thing out, okay? So here it is, the iClever foldable 100 watt solar panel, which means it's portable. And this I got on Amazon for about $159. So that's a pretty good buy. One of the nice things is it has kickstands on the back, which allow you to set it up so that you can actually utilize the maximum performance of the sun. In other words, point the solar panels directly at the sun. You can swing by and adjust it every 15 minutes or so, and that's going to keep your wattage up. We'll take a look at that here in a few minutes. But to open it, it's pretty easy. Just unfolds, and it has the kickstands. And so what we would want to do is turn it toward the sun. So there you have it, pointing directly at the sun. So now let's take a look at how it performs. Okay, so we've got it set up pointing toward the sun. It's got this zipper. Wow, how distracting is that? Sorry, still getting used to the cables from the remote mic. We'll do better, I promise. Pouch on the back. On with the video. That has all the cables with all the different plugs. And these are for all the different kind of solar generators that there are. And it does come with a lot of adapters, which makes it nice. So the only one that I'm going to need for the GOLABS R300 is this short cable right here. Actually, I wish it was about 10 foot long, but it is only about 3 feet. But that's what I'm going to need. So let's put the rest of this up. Oh, well, I've got it See all these plugins for the different types of USB and USB-C, all the different plugins. That was one of the reasons that I bought this one. It's a good high quality. And it has the adapters and the cordage that I'm going to need. All right. Now, we want to keep that in the shade. So we plug in. And then that goes in the input. Tell you what, let's turn it on first. All right, this says I have 95% charged. Nothing is being used out of it or into it. Now let's plug it in. It has a built-in solar control. All right, 52 watts, which is, let's see, you got to divide that by 12 to get your amperage. So that's a little over 4 amps an hour going in, about 4.5 amps an hour, which is pretty good. At 95%, that's only going to take about 10 minutes and maybe a half hour to charge it completely back up. So now let's plug some things into it and actually do some testing here. As you can see, we've got some clouds and it is hot. So let's try this with something that will be usable, like a 110 AC fan. That's a 20-inch fan. Let's see what it actually will do here. Okay, so we want to make sure it's turned on, and it is. And we're still getting 51 watts coming in from the sun. Now we're going to plug this into the AC, and we're going to turn it on. Okay. Whenever the AC came on, it dropped this down to only 43 watts. So that's, you've lost 8 watts. What that's about is what it takes to change 12 volt DC into 110 volts AC. So it has some, just the electronics are going to have a little bit of draw on it. So we're hovering in at 42 to 43 watts. Now let's turn on this fan and start cooling down a little bit here. Okay, that's on low. I don't know if we can see it here. Okay, it shows 4. So with the sun coming in and the wattage that fan is using, it's a difference of 4. This is the only real issue that I've heard about this particular device, and that is the fact that if it was a -4, it would be nice to know -4, or if it was a +4. Right now, we don't know. So how do we figure that out? Well, the way we're going to figure that out is pretty simple. We are going to turn things off, and then we're going to try the fan alone without it being charged, and we'll see if that's a -4 or a +4. So here we go. We turn the AC off, and that shows 50. Okay. Now we are going to unplug it from the solar panel, and it drops to 0. And now we're going to turn the AC on. comes the fan. And the fan draws 46 watts. We had 50 watts going in, so that was a positive of 4 watts. So what that means is, as long as you've got good bright sun, you can sit here and run this fan all day long, as long as there's sun. And it is still putting a little bit of charge into our solar generator or our power pack, whatever you want to call it. So this is a good test, and it's showing quite a bit of potential. Turn that off. Plug this bad boy back in. And it's back up to 49. Must have had a lid. There's the 50. A little bit of cloud cover. A 100-watt solar panel at its max can only put out about 6.6 amps. That's the best solar panels out there. So this thing putting out a little over 4.5 is pretty good because we don't have really super bright sun. We'll check it someday in some really bright, clear sun and see how, I guess what I'm trying to say is what the maximum amperage that we can get out of this, this solar array. So anyway, this has been a great test. It's been exactly, let's turn that fan back on. It's hot. Okay, so it's been a good test. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.